Today's guest is a very special one. He has bootstrapped a $100 million business by himself, Mr. Josh Snow.
So entrepreneurship to me is all I've ever known, and it equals freedom. And you can't sell a product for 10 years that doesn't work.
Yep.
The benefit of being broke is that you have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
You have more time than money. So you have the time to learn with ChatGPT, YouTube, whatever you need to learn.
If you're not just as obsessed with your haters of your product as you are with the people that love it, you're not going to succeed.
So we started calling all of our abandoned cart customers back.
Really?
Because to me, that is one of the best feedbacks. The negative feedback is amazing.
Do you find sometimes like the ability to elevate someone feels better than the ability to make money?
Almost always. Like you see the impact right away in a few months, like literally 3 months. Their whole life changes from promoting snow on TikTok, which is crazy.
I know the work that it's taken you to get here because I've had to go through it.
Yeah.
Fucking hard work. Ladies and gentlemen, today's episode is brought to you by I Wanna Gummies. Now, before you skip this ad, give me 30 seconds because this won't take long. I Wanna Gummies are the world's first gummy bear brand that has infused vitamins to help you wake up, relax, focus, and sleep. These are hyper effective gummy bears. They are going viral and they are selling out every day. And not only that, if you use the code LiamC at checkout, you will get a massive 40% off discount. And as if that was not good enough, they are the first gummy bear company on earth who put their money where your mouth is, meaning you can try $200 worth of gummy bears for just $25. That's $200 worth of gummy bears, beautiful experience box. You don't have to pay $200. You can try them all for $25 and you can see how good they are for yourself. So thank you, I Wanna Gummies, for sponsoring this episode. Back to the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Unbreakable podcast. Today's guest is a very special one. I've come all the way from Australia to Los Angeles to Miami and now to Arizona to interview a very special guest I've wanted to have on this podcast for a very long time, Mr. Josh Snow. Now, what is interesting about Josh? Unbreakable is about money, mindset, and inspiring stories from interesting people. Josh ticks every single one of these categories for multiple reasons. He started coding in the library at the age of 17, built his first 7-figure business at the age of 18. He has bootstrapped a $100 million business by himself. He now has multiple investments, brands. His current brand is stacking wins and kicking goals beyond measure. He has lots of interesting stories, rags to riches stories that we're going to cover in this podcast. But more or less, I want you to put you guys in a room with me and Josh because that's what this podcast is all about. We're going to capture some interesting stories, give you guys some motivation. Josh is going to talk us through a little bit of his story. I guarantee this one's going to be a banger. As always, we're going to drop our trailers before this one. And without sounding too humble, I do think it'll be the best podcast Josh has ever done in his entire life. And without further ado, Josh, welcome to the podcast.
Liam, what's up, brother?
How was that?
Yeah, that was amazing.
Was it really?
Yeah, that was awesome.
I just go into flow state. I forget what I even said.
I was in flow with you, dude. I'm like, that's pretty solid, man.
Thank you,
I appreciate
bro.
that.
Nah, man. Listen, thank you for being here, man. It's been quite a journey. Like, when I started on social, I've only had social for fucking 11 months. Yeah. But when I started, I had a few people where I was benchmarking. I'm like, all right, who's similar to me? Like, who's got my energy, my charisma, my aura, my passion, my vision? Yeah. Like, who runs their socials in a similar style to me? And we're talking about people like you and Rob the Bank and like our tribe. Yes. And, you know, I said to my girlfriend, I said, you know what? I'm going to be in a room with him, and we've already done 1, 2, 3, and so you're going to be the third and final chapter in that manifesting of all the key guests that I wanted to have on. And we were talking before the podcast that like you've got a similar mindset around that, and we'll touch on that in a minute. But I just think it's weird, man, how you can speak this sort of stuff into existence. So, you know, like look where we are, man. I'm on the other side of the planet, and now we're sitting at a table. We're logoed up. We've got some beautiful new products, which we'll get into in a sec. And we're going to cover your story, man. So how you feeling?
I feel amazing, man. Very blessed.
Energy's
very
good?
Blessed. Energy is amazing. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate you coming all the way out here. And
pleasure's mine.
I've always wanted to be a totem pole for other people. I always thought, what if Steve Jobs had an Instagram while he was building Apple, let's say, as one of the original for my generation that you would call out as an entrepreneur, visionary. I remember seeing the first presentation from Steve Jobs in 2007 as a broke teenager in West Phoenix. and I saw the iPhone be introduced for the very first time. And the way that Steve Jobs had illustrated that presentation so perfectly, and he captivated an audience as a black turtleneck wearing, circle glass wearing, Silicon Valley based company, was so insane, and the PR that came from that. And I didn't know anything at that time at all. All I knew is I was broke. I didn't want to be broke. I had to figure something out. Maybe I'll be a doctor and I can help people and make some good money. And that was really all I had at that time. But I saw that presentation. It was so captivating that I had started to dream at that point of being able to orate in such a manner that was intoxicating and told a story about a product. And so for me, building a product and building a product business like Snow and Anala and all the brands that I own and I've invested in, it's a canvas for a creative, and it's an ability to create something like a chef would create a cookie, and he wants you to try that cookie, and he wants your feedback.
Yeah.
And you can thank him, but he's thanking you.
Yeah.
And I wanted something like that for my whole life. And I think, being able to showcase building Snow on a public platform like social media for the last 10 years, I've been showing the ups, the downs, the middles, working with the Kardashians. Then we're on the Ellen Show. Then we're launching Nordstrom. Then we're launching CVS. Like all of these milestones that are exciting, but then also the lag that comes with that to make that come true. And so I think that there's anyone that's created a product business, all of our products are internally innovative. We never drop shipped, white labeled, private labeled. Everything is invented in-house here in Arizona. And I'm a patent inventor thanks to Snow. And I think that being able to share that on a social platform was something that I wish it was around when Steve Jobs or even Elon Musk would show even more of that, or Jeff Bezos, or you name your favorite entrepreneur, if they could show you more of that in a vlogging format or reality show type format, you could see the ups, the downs, and say, wow, I'm not alone. There are downs to those ups. And so I shared that over the last 10 years. And now I've got a TV show on season 3, goingpublic.com.
I was literally just about to make a prediction. You beat me to it. I was about to say, my prediction is you're going to either end up on a TV show or you're going to have one. And the reason I predict that is because a buddy of mine, he's got a streetwear merch brand doing a couple of million a month. Yeah. And I fucking have this thing, bro, where I don't know where it is, but I can pick things about people.
Intuition.
Every time. So the last 5 guests, we had, do you know Ziz, the bodybuilder, had his brother Chest Bro on. Yeah. We had 2 other guests who were like retired gangsters and one other. And I said, you're going to get a series, you're going to get a series, you're going to get a series, you're going to get a movie. Series, movie. Paramount, Disney, Netflix, all those series. So I don't know when it will happen and I don't know what it's going to be on, but I do feel like at some point you're going to have either a show or a series. Don't know when. Yeah. Congratulations on the one you have now.
Thank you.
This is just my prediction.
Well, you're not wrong. This is the 3rd TV show that I've done. This is the longest lasting stint in terms of goingpublic.com, where we democratize access to companies where everyday Americans can swipe up to invest as little as $500 while they watch the show in that company specifically.
Private or?
So it's like Shark Tank meets American Idol. And it's a Reg A Plus, so it's called equity crowdfunding. Yep. The Reg A Plus through the Jobs Act of 2012 allows companies to now raise up to $75 million a year from unaccredited investors, so everyday Americans, and in fact anyone in the world.
Is this like pre-IPO companies?
They can be.
They can be.
So
okay.
They can be. So it's an opportunity for everyday Americans to access opportunities that have normally been reserved for those who are already rich. As someone who's gone rags to riches, there's a responsibility that I live with every day, and I'm proud to live with, of coming from nothing, but being able to create a ladder for others to be able to get access to that. So when the founders, Todd and Darren, who are some of my best friends, came to me with the concept, I fell in love with the concept. Ended up investing in the business. I became a host, a mentor, etc. Fell in love with the concept, and we just finished season 3 at goingpublic.com, and that'll air May 6th. So right around the corner, and that's an exclusive with X.com. Yep. So Elon Musk put a stamp on it.
Well done.
And realized that we need some more edutainment, business style education. And so the production house, this is the 2nd show I've done with them. I also did a show with Vice and GQ with 2 Chainz, the rapper, called Most Expensivest. I used to be called Most
I
Expensive
love that
Chef.
name.
Yeah, Most Expensivest. And that was awesome. So I filmed that in Vegas with 2 Chainz. That was an awesome episode. So I really love the idea of media as it stands because it democratizes access to information and insights.
Could not agree more.
And so for me, you doing the podcast, me being on the podcast, me sharing the content that I do, 99.9% of my content is free. A small piece of it, masterminds, etc., where I have to spend my time. I have to justify being able to do that, right? And so beyond that, TV is amazing because season 2 we did with Wall Street Journal, Barron's, and Market Watch. And so these huge media conglomerates are searching for original formats. And America is built on small business. We export innovation more than anything, in my opinion. So entrepreneurship to me is all I've ever known. It's all I've ever wanted to share with people. And it equals freedom of thought first, being able to think beyond your means. And so I think that was something coming from an impoverished background. I had to think beyond my means because if I thought within them, I would stay within them.
Yep.
And in order to break the box, you have to think outside the box.
Without question. Bro, you nailed something as well about digital media democratizing access towards opportunities, investments, products.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, some of the reach that we've got and some of the biggest sales we've ever done have been on podcasts because when you're in a room with someone for 2 hours, you almost feel like the digital relationship is so strong that your ability to purchase is driven off like, well, these guys are my friends now. So like, I want to buy what they've got because they've given me a discount code. They've showed me the product. I've sat in a room with them for an hour. So like, I feel like the podcast format is kind of, for us, the podcast placements where we put products in there have been doing better than like, short form ads on various platforms.
I believe that
relationship,
Yeah.
They build it to be a lot stronger. To that point,
You have more time.
And we're going to put some codes in the bio for this as well.
Oh, 100%. We'll get the best discount for everybody listening.
Beautiful.
Like a chef, I want you to try my product. If
Yep.
I can get it to you for free, I will. We have almost no return rates on our products.
Beautiful.
Building the business, I wanted to build it like I built software. I'm a programmer as well. And so I wanted to iterate very fast.
Yep.
And so some of the products we've been able to iterate upon 100 times in some scenarios. Our longest standing product, tweak the formula, change this, the packaging, the weight, every single piece, the attention to detail inside of that cookie, so to speak, inside of each one of our products, whether it's toothpaste, a toothbrush. Generally they're world first innovations. So we like to do things first. We like to create the trend. It's very important to us.
Yeah.
And so we see opportunity. For example, our vitamin toothpaste, you can brush your teeth and absorb vitamins sublingually. Underneath your tongue is a powerhouse to absorb into the blood system. Not every vitamin can be absorbed sublingually. But also the gums absorb. So you've got this operating system. And as I started to come out with more products, we realized that we were in someone's mouth 30 to 60 minutes a day. So that's a long time to absorb submucosally lots of vitamins like vitamin B12, vitamin B6, CoQ10, helps support heart health. So we sell them what they want, give them what they need. And so we've sold, 100 million treatments at this point, selling them mostly what they want.
100 million treatments.
100 million treatments, yeah.
Can I ask just on that topic? I remember when I started my first store and like one person bought a product, right? And I thought to myself, I don't know if you had this, but I was like, someone's pulled out their wallet, put their card down, open up the screen, put in their details. Here we go. Here's my address. Here's my phone number. Given me their money, and I've sent them a product that they've paid me for.
Right.
That felt so fucking cool.
Yeah.
How does it feel to have 100 million people do that?
It's great, man. I think that being able to have an opportunity in our space, we're in the business of confidence. So if someone feels more confident about their smile, they're more likely to ask the cute girl on a date, or perhaps they're going to ask for a promotion at their job, or they're going to kind of be more of themselves. And we found that the smile is the centerpiece of the face. It's the number one most complimented asset on a stranger or someone you know. Your smile looks great. I love your smile. And every smile is different. So our motto is smile fearlessly. You should have no fear to smile in the photos. You don't have to use Facetune anymore. If that's something you're insecure about, we have your back. But using better for you ingredients was super important to me. Yep. So the packaging is great, all that fun stuff, but it has to work. Number one, you can't sell a product for 10 years that doesn't work.
Yep. We're
the highest rated oral care brand on BBB and Trustpilot. But I think that figuring out how to do better while we do well is super important to me. And Snow has already given me, I've never taken $1 off the table running the business in 10 years.
You were telling me that at the start
founder.
as well.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, burn the boats. Burn the boats.
I call it being all in.
Yeah, it really is. And also, nobody really wanted to do it with me. So,
what do you mean?
Well, I wasn't Josh Snow back then, right? So back then, I was still, although I had made my first $1 million and I had been building businesses and graduated college, the group that I had at the time was much more digital oriented. So, and affiliate marketing oriented. I now own affiliatemarketing.com. That's how I made my first $1 million at 17, and kind of coming full circle, we now have affiliates that promote Snow. But I think that nobody wanted to join me because it seemed foreign. And I understand that because a couple of my best friends started Tuft & Needle Mattress Company, the first bed in a box here in Phoenix, and they bootstrapped it to $250 million a year. And they had the same kind of reckoning, which was that people didn't want to sell mattresses with them. People don't want to take on the giants with me and sell toothpaste. I said, what if toothpaste had vitamins and better ingredients and didn't use the artificial colors and all these flavorings, and it cost the same and you could choose, give someone a choice? That seems so foreign to most people. And I think that that's one of the difficulties when you're building a business, is that do you quit because other people aren't understanding it? Is that a signal or is that noise? And so figuring that out in the beginning was difficult. But because I had jaw surgery when I was 21, 22, I became friendly with my oral surgeon, my orthodontist. I'm pulling up on Wednesday in a drop top Lamborghini. And they're like, what is this kid doing on a Wednesday? Yeah. Why is he not in school? Like, why is he talking like this? So we became friends, and I gave them marketing advice for their local practice. And ultimately, I invited them to dinner, and we talked through, I want to create a company called Snow. I like the weather, and I want it to be another option so that when people are shopping for oral care, they can have something that sits next to their La Mer, their Drunk Elephant, something that just matched the aesthetic and then had efficacy. So the first thing was efficacy and aesthetic. So really oral cosmetics. And then over time, as we got more and more customers, it became an opportunity to serve the customer better. So we dropped prices 40% retail, with just because to make it more affordable. We have economies of scale now. Let's make it more affordable. More people deserve premium oral care. And what is premium? Well, it's better for your ingredients, better efficacy. No compromise is really the key. Whiten with virtually zero sensitivity. But then I realized, being in the mouth, we have an opportunity to add probiotics, peptides, all sorts of ingredients that are sublingually ingested. And the bioavailability inside of your body is higher than if you were to take it as a capsule, because your stomach acid will dissolve it.
Have you started developing these peptide and vitamin infused products already?
Yep.
Yeah? Are they out now?
We have the vitamin one is out now. So we have a vitamin toothpaste that has L-theanine, it has magnesium, CoQ10, B6, B12. And so we're working on a study right now where we take a group of people and showcase it through blood levels, the vitamin deficiency prior, and then now it's sufficient. And so imagine if you could brush the same 2 minutes, same thing, amazing whitening. We use multiple whiteners, all the best ingredients, same price as what you would imagine on the shelf. And you also get a sublingual ingestion and infusion of the things you're deficient in. And so over a long period of time, you're going to brush your teeth till you die, hopefully. And so over your lifetime, how many people could we help through vitamin D deficiency? How much could we help with the CoQ10 through the sublingual ingestion? So I think by having a brand that is exciting, and we've made oral care very exciting. And I think when people pay for something, they're excited about it. They want to talk about it. The packaging and everything is just in line. The ingredients are proper. Everything is key.
Do you know what I've picked up on?
Yeah.
You talked about Steve Jobs in Arizona when you were 17. Did you go to see him personally?
No.
Okay.
No, unfortunately.
But you're a fan, right?
Huge fan.
So have you noticed how you've got that same passion for product that he had, where his vision was like the customer experience is everything? And they'd be like, oh, well, don't we want it to be more like Microsoft? And he's like, no, we want it to be us, but we want people to feel something. So when you get that slick minimalist design, that feeling Do you feel that like that's what makes you guys money in the same way that that's what drove him to success? The customer experience, how you make people feel.
Well, I think radical obsession. Yes, I think radical obsession over the customer. So as a bootstrap business going to $100 million, the customer is the investor. So how do you keep the investor happy? How do you keep them coming back? And so in the early days, I pick up the phone and call the customers. Hey, this is Josh from trysnow.com. I saw you put an order in. I want to make sure you had a great experience. I noticed that you didn't add a refill. I can give that to you for 50% off if you'd like to add it. It's helpful and you have to pay for shipping next time. So it's a great time, and then they give you feedback. And that feedback is gold. We now have bots through AI that read everybody's reviews, feed us back an AI summary, right? And we look at all of our reviews, all of our phone calls, anything that we can tap into to understand how do we make the product itself better? How do we make the buying experience better? Even if it's through Nordstrom, Neiman Marcus, Costco, how do we improve that process for the customer? Because it's that delight that really locks in the customer. And then once they realize the product works, we have like almost no returns on our products. They realize right away that the product's working. They get a compliment from a friend, but they also know they're switching to something healthier, better for them. They're not using artificial colors, artificial dyes. They're adding vitamins into the toothpaste, and I'm getting the results that I'm looking for. Well, it's the same price and I'm getting all these extra benefits. So we think that it's our mission to get the products, especially the vitamin infused products we have now. We also are a leading fluoride free brand. So we use hydroxyapatite, which 97% of your teeth are made of hydroxyapatite. So we believe that remineralizing your teeth should be done from what's on your teeth, right, and what's missing. And so our products, including our strips, our toothpaste, are hydroxyapatite based, fluoride free, for adults that don't necessarily want or need the additional fluoride.
Bro, all that ecom audience are going to be geeking out on this stuff because you're probably the same as I could literally like talk about this for 10 hours if we had to. I
kind of do, yeah.
And that's probably like our shared passion. But like a lot of that stuff that you're talking about, that's Navy SEAL level ecom, bro. Like to have AI bots monitoring the reviews, like that granular level of detail, I've not seen that in a lot of businesses, unless they're like over that $100 million mark. I've not seen anyone doing that, man. So that's fucking incredible.
Nobody really does it because it's most customers to businesses, unfortunately, are another number. It's a ROAS, return on ad spend on media buying.
Money in, money out.
Money in, money out. Oh, there's a return rate. It's a percentage. Everybody's smile is important to us. And if they didn't have a good experience, and you can see, look at our Trustpilot, look at our BBB, A+ rating, we respond to every complaint.
Yep.
And I've got millions of customers. There's bound to be 100 or 200 complaints, right? And
not bad for $1 million.
It's not bad. It really isn't. And we've got everything else handled. It's just being able to respond to them in a timely manner, even when they have something negative to say. Because to me, the negative reviewers have built my business. The positive reviewers are awesome. They're just part of the star rating. The negative feedback gives you an opportunity to improve. And if you listen to the customer faster and better than your competitors, you will end up with a perfected product that others won't have a problem with.
Yep.
Because anticipation is the highest level of service. And the way to anticipate is to see what's going on, like in a restaurant, and go, oh gosh, they have to pull out the chair. The chairs are heavy to pull out because of the carpet. What can we do to make that easier? Let's change the bottoms so that they're smooth and they slide out a little bit easier. Let's put wheels on them, something. And now you see that everybody's having a better experience. And so that hyper obsession, everything from the viscosity of our gel, the foaminess of our gel, all these things I did not know, but I learned because if I can obsess over the customer and see what they like and anticipate, which is what Steve Jobs was the best at doing, and Jeff Bezos, a lot of them. Let me anticipate what they want, because Steve Jobs said famously, customers don't really know what they really want. You have to create it and put it in front of them, and then they want it. And he was the king of doing that. But I do think you can anticipate, and I think he was anticipating.
Isn't it cool though how you can make money out of created demand versus fulfilling existing demand? I think that's cooler because it's like, I'm just gonna, okay, here's my next one. So again, when I sold my first product, the fact that someone took out their card and bought it was so fucking cool. The second coolest thing was the fact that like this thing was in my head and now it's in my hands. Did you get that same feeling? Like it was up in my brain and now it's in the world. Like how did that part of the experience, how was that for you, knowing that it was in your brain and now it's in the hands?
It's heavenly. It's what we teach at affiliatemarketing.com. And I have a group of entrepreneurs in a community called Brand Builders. And being able to see and coach someone to see that as well, it's a proxy to the dopamine release that would come from doing it myself. So that's why I love to coach and teach, because you get, it's not never the exact same, but you get so many doses of it.
Yep.
And you get to help people, which is awesome, and help great people. But for me, being able to take like our magic powder, the world's first sprinkle powder for any toothpaste. Mm-hmm. So we saw that the adoption on our toothpaste was not where I wanted it to be, where we wanted it to be. Well, the thing is, it's habitual and it's hard to change consumer habit. So you might ask someone, why do you use your toothpaste? I don't know, my dentist recommended it 38 years ago and I just stuck with it. Yeah. And they're not checking the ingredients because they're not eating it, although you are. But so that's where it was really difficult to get people to move to our toothpaste en masse, right? And so, especially when our prices were higher. So we invented an opportunity for anybody to experience snow. And so you just sprinkle our magic powder right on any toothpaste, any brand that works with all of them. And our hope is that even if you stick with that toothpaste, you're going to get better results over time by supplementing what you're doing in 1 second. Mm-hmm. And so being able to create things based on the customer obsession and understanding what are they really looking for as a chef or an artist, etc., it's a creative canvas to be able to play Bob Ross and I'm going to put a cloud here. And you get to kind of create that. And I think there's anticipation, and I think the customers and other people's customers. So I always tell entrepreneurs, how often are you reading your competitors' reviews, let alone your own? Most don't ever read their own. You should be reading every review. And the negative ones are the best, because they give you a chance to improve. And what is life all about? And what is competition all about? And it's in those micro improvements. And you have to do it with agility. And that's the cool thing about being small and new and a startup, or you're agile. So you can product develop faster, right?
It's good to be able to do that, right? I think that's why Prime became $1 billion company so quick, because by the time Gatorade had 15 management meetings, Prime had already pivoted and fucking shot the lights out.
Correct.
Because they've got 1,500 managers they have to get approval from, and these guys are like, fuck it, we'll just do what we want.
Ghost Nutrition, they did the same. Those guys are incredible.
Dude, I'm such a fan of Ghost Nutrition.
And they shared everything on YouTube, which is, close to my heart. Like, I love when entrepreneurs share that journey, and to have $1 billion exit, and for people to be a part of that, and for them to outmaneuver and out to agile their competitors. That's the whole benefit of being broke, is that you have nothing to lose. Yeah. You have more time than money. So you have the time to learn with ChatGPT and YouTube, whatever you need to learn. Start an agency, start helping other businesses with one single service, get out of your job, And then if it's right for you, this is the hardest thing I've ever done, is creating snow and to where it is today. It's the hardest thing by far. It's tested me beyond beliefs. It's shaped me into the man I am today. But I don't recommend that level of scale for someone that is not truly devoted. Now, if your goal is to get a Lambo, sell something else, do something else. Yeah. If your job's to change 100 million lives and make them feel more confident when they smile and actually innovate in the space, there's a chance for you. And you look at brands like Method, Ollie, Welly, all similar founders. There's so many consumer packaged goods companies.
AG1, Manscaped, Dr. Squatch.
Dr. Squatch,
Dude,
innovating the category, making it accessible. Yep. To me, that is what it's about. And that has never been possible before. For so many years, the catalog 100 years ago by Sears Roebuck, that was owned by large brands. It continually has been dominated in terms of retail dominance. Now the retailers are looking for brands like Snow to say, how do we shake up the category? How do we build incremental wallet share? So what they're looking for is, let's get people buying the Crest or the Sensodyne with the Snow powder. So now you've got incremental, and we know that we're getting them the stuff that they really need. And so it becomes a better shopping experience. And so I think now is the best time to think about this stuff, but there's always an opportunity to create something unique. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs sit on, I have to have the most unique idea before I can start it. No one has it, sign an NDA. Yeah. I didn't invent toothpaste. Yep. I just made it better.
I see. To that point, what I've noticed about your product and what I like most about it is, like, I'm a big believer in upsell, cross-sell, and value add. Yeah. And of every brand that I've seen, this one adds more value to the consumer than any other, because you give these people more ways to you give them more ways to achieve an outcome than any other brand. And then you give them ways to enhance the experience of that outcome and add value on top, right? Like with the vitamins, with the peptides, with, don't just go with one straight shot way to whiten your teeth, go with a 3-step process. And I find that, well, actually, maybe I could ask you this. Do you find that like having those crossover products increases your average cart size and gets consumers to spend more whilst adding value to that process?
5,000%.
Yeah.
It definitely does. You have to do it strategically. So there was a year that we launched 40 new like innovations, and it cost us, $10-20 million R&D, tooling. We just went crazy with it. But you have to match the level of product development innovation. If you look at Apple at its maturity today, how many products do they truly launch brand new per year? One. Like new, right? And then how many iterations do they launch per year? Several, right? Across the lines, multiple times throughout the year.
Yeah.
Those are iterations. So they're iteratively once per year in hyper speed with 200,000 employees in the US making 4 products a year.
Yep.
So
how many did you start with?
1.
Yeah, I started with 2.
Yeah, you start, and I wish I would have had a couple more. Yeah, day and night. I wish I had a couple more because I think merchandising helps to answer your question. I think that when I look at brands like Kapari, Tula in the skincare space, La Mer, or I look at CeraVe, there's lots of different products. Like CeraVe has a whole line for eczema, and then they have this, and so you're treating multiple areas. Some brands have traversed going from skincare to hair care as well, and so now you're using K18 or whatever it is on your skin and your hair. So I do think that as long as it matches and it's a natural add-on. So if you go to McDonald's, would you like fries with that?
Yeah.
How about a soda for $1 more? Yeah. Would you like to supersize it or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Sure. Would you like to add the kids meal? So it's very easy. They know that. It's drilled down to a science. Would you like fries with your burger? Or we're gonna have fries, your mouth's really gonna be dry. So you're definitely gonna need a soda.
Yeah.
Fine. So that's all they'll go across that. And you have to think through that in your business. What is the most logical? Now for us, we sell a toothbrush. Well, toothpaste you're gonna use with the toothbrush. And if you're using toothpaste, you probably might want some booster to your toothpaste so you can get that desired result. So depending on the device or the consumable they're coming in on. So if they're coming on toothpaste, we're going to maybe upsell them to the vitamin toothpaste and see if they're ready for that. If not, that's fine. But then we're going to cross-sell them into the powder or the booster gel to boost their product. And then we might have a one-time offer for the toothbrush because they came in on the toothpaste.
That's awesome.
So understanding how people shop, exiting through the gift shop kind of idea, how do you cater to the customer so that it's a natural progression?
Yep.
They're not asking you, do you want a meal? Do you want this? They say, I would like a burger. Start with the customer. What do they want? And then add value in a nice way. And I think it's become natural. So I think it's very beneficial. I think that more brands should launch complementary products faster to their core, at least to get some testing. Just don't go crazy on it. Just really understand, maybe even survey your customers at post-purchase and ask them, what is something that you would like to see from us next, which is something we did. Mouthwash, which is one of our top selling products. They wanted mouthwash because it was about buying into snow, and they wanted to replace their routine. And they do use mouthwash, they use floss, they use toothpaste, and they do have a toothbrush, but they're cool with the toothbrush right now. They just bought it, but they would like to replace that with your brand if your ethos kind of speaks to them. So I think having complementary products increases your lifetime value, your average items per order. And the more items you get per order, the more likelihood you have someone to find something they love. So if I give you as a chef 10 different types of cookies, you might not like the shortbread one. That's fine. But you fell in love with the chocolate chip.
Do you, on this point, because as you were talking about that, I was thinking in my head, there are some brands that operate at that Navy SEAL level that you guys play at, where they'll like heat map customer behavior. Do you guys do that?
Yeah, we see what they buy when they come back. I mean,
what sort
everything
of
we can.
level of detail do you kind of go into that?
Well, we have a fortunate benefit of being direct to consumer. So we've processed hundreds of millions of dollars through Shopify, which means we have all of the files, we have the customer data, we talk to them, we direct mail them, we email with them, SMS with them, they follow us, we have groups. So the community aspect, they're now becoming affiliates and influencers for us. And so we have tens of thousands now that are in our program altogether that are interested in promoting on a daily basis through TikTok Shop, for example. But
I think been a big boom.
Yeah, that's been huge. Yeah. That's been huge for us as well. And I think social shopping is going to be just the biggest thing ever. But I think having the whole point of direct to consumer, see, if you only sell on Amazon, you're not getting all the customer data.
Yep.
If you just sell on retail, you're not getting all the customer data. We have such an advantage to be able to follow up with the customer, ask them what they liked, what they didn't, really understand the behavior in terms of when, how long does it take, for example, one metric we look at, how long does it take for them to come back to reorder? So if we realize that it's less than 30 days, we're not including enough product or we're not indicating the usage properly.
Yep.
So there's an issue there and we can change that. One's harder than the other, but we got to change that because we don't want them having to come back less than a month. This is supposed to last a month.
Yeah.
And I'm coming back before a month to order more. It's that good, I'm going to order it, but that's still not the best scenario.
Right.
It should last 35 days so that, or even 40, so that hyper users that use a little too much will be able to still last 30 days. And those that use it sparingly or accordingly will have a proper amount of days and they'll have a little bit left just as their subscription replenishes.
Yep. And you're doing all automated, like top up your your packages and
And the apps do it, you know, the apps are great on Shopify. They do most of the work for us.
How cool is it to like go to bed and know you've got an army of like robots just fucking doing emails for you and like sending out texts, and it's just like, I remember when I first hit that point and I'd go to sleep and wake up with all this email revenue. I'm like, dude, I didn't even do any of this. Like a computer did this for me. Yeah. Like how did that feel when you started automating all this money?
I mean, I've been
internet money.
The internet money's been there for a while.
Yeah,
so I totally get that. When I was 17, 18 years old, I came across a guy that owned the website. It was called howtogetridofstuff.com. And he was generating 1 to 2 million a year. He had 2 virtual employees, was living in like Thailand. And so I knew that the automation was there. But I think if we were to, the way I think about it sometimes, to humble myself, is, you know, we have millions of people coming through our store on our Shopify site. If I was to have a shop in person managing that amount of people.
Yeah. So
this month we had 2 million people, individual people, walk through our gas station. Imagine restocking the shelves. It's a mess. The pumps are out of gas. So, you know, imagine that in relativity, because I think that as a shopkeeper, and I get to, like last night, I was merchandising. I'm very involved. I love to be involved in everything I'm doing. And so I can go in there and fix a few things before the team wakes up. So go in, I'm merchandising, just like Bath and Body Works and every other brand is merchandising. Let's put this product a little bit higher. Let's do this. Let's tag it for conversion rate optimization testing. All right, I'll look at that later. So really, I'm a shopkeeper and like a chef or whatever. I got my cookies out, right? And we got my team, and let's put the lemon ones out there. It smells really good. It's part of the season. So we're thinking through this merchandising and assortment. But if we were to think about it in mass scale, or like my buddy Rich, who built Fashion Nova with 6 figures of SKUs.
Can you tell people how much? Yeah.
How would that work in person, right? Like, how do you manage something like that in person? But a long time ago, me and my buddy Tommy Mello came together when I was 18 to create GarageDoorNation.com, which is still around today. And we had the idea to digitize the ordering of garage door parts. Mm-hmm. It's very specific, but everybody has a garage. And so it was very difficult to digitize the amount of variations in a spring. You have the length, the width, the height, all this stuff. So you have 1.7 million variations of a spring that need to be custom ordered by someone replacing it in the garage door. So just like Amazon did with books, it's impossible to have every book in a library unless it's digitized and you can order it on demand. And so I think that was something that was fascinating to me, is how do I create that same type of transition in a space? And then again, it's about creating accessibility.
Yeah, man, I think honestly, I could listen and talk about this all day. And I think one of the things with the product development as well, I don't think people realize how fucking hard that is too. Cause like it's hard work. Yeah. Like you have to be obsessed. Yeah. It's like being an athlete, really. Right. Like it's like, if you're not like boxing, for example.
That's why most products suck.
100% and swallow.
Yeah, they do. Definitely. They don't have that mindset.
Yeah, man. Like for example, if you're a boxer, if you're not obsessed, you're gonna get smoked. Like you have to be obsessed. And I think obsession and perfectionism to an extent, but probably more obsession is what makes these products good, because you can tell when someone's put in effort versus when they haven't. And I think one of the key takeaways I'm picking up on is that product development obsession. It's a never-ending process. So you've got to maintain that for the life of the business to really make it pump. And I mean, the results speak for itself, right?
Great products win in the end. I mean, at the end of the day,
agree.
even if it's 0.1% that separates second to first place, there's only one gold medal in the Olympics.
I completely
and that's
agree.
it. And the only way you can get there is humbly. You have to submit to your customer. You have to understand that, not to your sales partner or whatever it is. No. Treat your team well, hire the best people and get out of their way, drill them in with a mission and support them. And then iterate on your products as quickly as you can based on the people giving you money and feedback. They don't just give you money, they're giving you valuable feedback to make your company and products that much better.
Yep.
And so I think it's that iteration over time. If you stay in business long enough, you end up with world-class products that simply just do it all. And I think you can look at some of the car manufacturers like a Bentley or Rolls. When you barely close the door and you don't close it properly, it takes care of it for you.
Yeah.
There's an umbrella.
I was in my brother's Bentley, my
right?
best mate's Bentley last night. Yeah.
And it closes, right?
Dude, it has like a seat scarf where it's like a heated wave of heat that wraps around your neck.
Yeah.
And I think gives you a massage while you're driving.
And isn't
it lights
it nice?
up your shoes when you get out.
Isn't it nice?
Yeah.
And that's
Is that what you got
that's
Bentley now as well?
anticipation. I've had many Bentleys.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
a Rolls right now that I love. But
Which one?
The Cullinan.
Yeah, my buddy
it's
just got one of those.
So smooth. They're like a magic carpet. But they do the same thing, right? They close. You have these things that you didn't even know that you wanted, perhaps, which is where Steve Jobs says sometimes they don't know that they want a neck warmer, like a scarf.
Yep.
But they're going to love it.
Yeah, I didn't know until last night that I wanted one.
And you're like, now I need one. And it creates a gap, right? And so now, I think looking at those car companies, Dyson is one of my favorite brands. Apple, we've been called the Dyson of oral care, the Apple of oral care, which is a huge, for me, studying those brands for so long. And then we take a lot of inspiration from skincare and hair care and makeup, where our products live. And even for our male customers, we're close to 50-50 male, female.
Yep.
But even for our male customers, it's something that is efficacious. It's a good value. It's easy to use. It's simple. And it's something that I think innovation is so important. Like you're saying, if you're not obsessed with it,
Yep.
you're not going to see that level. Now, if let's say you're the worst product developer in the world, if you just listen to your customers, get on the phone with them. How did you use it? Yeah, the box is kind of hard to open. And you write it down, box hard to open, even on paper. And you go, gosh, today I had 5 out of the 10 say the box is hard to open.
Yep.
Let's fix that. Now you message your manufacturer and say, hey, we need to make it an easy open. Send me some samples immediately. Send those customers a $100 gift card for giving you great feedback, and send them the new product.
That's fucking awesome. I love that, man. I really, honestly, I tell people this all the time. If you're not just as obsessed with your haters of your product as you are with the people that love it, you're not going to succeed. Because bro, I get more excited over a bad review than a good one.
Yeah.
I'm just like, dude, do you know how good this is?
Yeah.
We can learn from this. We're about to become better because of this. This isn't bad. My sales are like, oh, there's so many things. I'm like, think bigger. Think up here. You know.
Oh, we started calling all of our abandoned cart customers back.
Really?
Because to me, that is one of the best feedbacks. The negative feedback is amazing, and I don't really see them. Now, there's some haters that will come in that just don't like the brand and they ordered something. Some of that happens. I feel responsible. They gave me money. They were expecting experience. Now, some people have unrealistic expectations. That's just how it's going to be. But maybe I didn't do a good enough job in priming them for that. How can I do a better job? Because it's my job to outcompete. Because if I don't figure that out, some other brand will.
Yep.
And if you have a business that is like for teeth, if someone could brush with me for 80 years, why would I ever mess that up?
Yeah.
I want to be with this person forever.
Yep.
And I want to have a denture line soon where we can support them beyond the teeth. Like, let's go all the way, and a baby line and a tween line. Like, how do we connect the dots? Because people like consistency. If they could stick to something, a few things they really believe in and trust, that's why hero product creation is really important. You have to have one really strong hero product. And then the negative feedback that comes in, it's juicy. And then we started calling back all of our abandoned carts, because if someone adds products to their cart, fill out their credit card, and then for some reason bounce, that is fascinating. because I want to understand that. And so we started asking if we could follow up with them. And not everybody answers the phone nowadays, but the ones that do are absolute gold. And of course you do SMS and email abandonment, recovery, and then retargeting. But we started calling them, and we have almost a 20% conversion rate on anyone we talk to. And
that's fucking amazing.
90% of the time, I wasn't sure if I needed to get both of these, or I wasn't sure if I could just subscribe to this alone, or there's issues that they have that are particular to their buying experience. And as a shopkeeper, if someone grabs something in their hand, brings it to the cash register, pulls out their credit card, and then grabs their stuff and runs away, or just runs away, right? I want to understand what caused that. Well, the website was loading really slow. Oh my gosh, do you mind sharing what type of phone you're using? It's an iPhone 14. It should be working well. Absolutely, it should be working well. And there's an opportunity to say, hey, I'm sorry that you had that experience. I'm going to go ahead and drop the shipping fees. I'm going to give you this extra, and I can process you in one click. Are you still on Elm Street? And are you still on the MasterCard 4177?
Yeah.
Yes, that's perfect. Thanks so much. Well, yeah, take care of you. This is the total. You'll get an email right now, and you can text me anytime that if you have any issues or you need help using your products. I'm so sorry about that. And so now you have an opportunity to take a detractor and turn them into a promoter because of that experience. And we've lost that in this day and age of AI and all this automation. You have to have that, but I like to automate to get me to things that are unscalable.
Yep.
The signals.
Where do you store all that feedback from the abandoned cart calls? Like, do you put that into some sort of database, and how do you analyze that?
It's all, well, that's AI analysis now. But before, we would listen to the calls. If we had the opportunity legally to listen to the call, we would be able to listen to that for training, right?
Yep.
And so that gave us an opportunity to train the reps and help them serve and be more concierge type. And we realized that that wasn't a sales phone type of rep. It's a customer concierge. Let me help you. Something happened. We did something wrong, perhaps. Yep. Let's figure that out. Or maybe they just were doing it at work. They added it to cart, and then they had to leave, or they got pulled into a meeting. And they go, no, I actually do want to order that. Go ahead and process it.
Yeah,
I need it now. So you get this opportunity to get easy closes where you're able to also recommend products, give them free gifts.
Yep.
Hey, I noticed you ordered the toothbrush, but no toothbrush heads or no toothpaste. Do you mind if I throw that into your order for $5?
Yep.
It's 50% off. It won't cost any shipping or anything like that, but I think you're really going to love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. $5? Absolutely. I'll try it out. How is it? Is it minty? Yes, it's minty. So you're educating, you're teaching, you're getting feedback.
And this is all from abandoned carts.
All from abandoned carts.
Do you know what's something crazy about this? I don't know if you know about this, but a buddy of mine is a billionaire. He's like a mentor to me. And he invented this thing. He called it revenue rescue, where like if they don't have money on the card, his tech like pushes a microloan on the card so they can still get it. And he said that like just fucking skyrocketed all his clients' revenue.
I bet.
And then they this is like there's unethical ways to make money.
Yeah.
They found out a way how to put it into ATMs at casinos. So they got, bro, you got thousands of ATMs where it's like, I need $500. You don't have it. Oh, here's a little micro loan on the card. Bang, pushes the $500 through.
Oh,
and then he's got a pool of like another $1 billion with like, huge interest rates on it. I'm like, that's deliciously evil for the casino stuff. I like it for the e-com stuff.
Right.
But I should introduce you guys after this.
Yeah, I'm down to talk to him.
I'll put him. He's the one that just got he did an exit. It will never come on here because he's very private.
Yeah.
But he pulled out 90 million cash. He got a jet. He got a Cullinan.
Jeez.
And I was in New York, and he's like, I'll send the jet. I'm not in New York now, but I kind of want to go there just to get the jet.
Just to get the jet. You should. Why not?
For real.
He wants to send it. Why not?
Yeah.
He's paid for it already.
Yeah, I would assume so. Yeah. So yeah, I'll ask him about that after this. I'll link you guys up.
Yeah, link us up for sure.
And so I've got so many more. If I could touch on, because obviously like, you've done a bit of this, I've done a bit of this. We dabbled in a little bit of investing. Obviously, you've got the Clever Investor Show here as well.
Yes.
The boys were telling me about the $100 million club, which I really like.
Yep.
Could you talk me through some of the investor groups or funds that you're associated with at the moment, and the type of investee companies you're looking at? Because a lot of the people that consume this content, they're like early stage businesses. Right. And as we know, there's a lot of opportunity in there. And like those guys kind of want to know for like, what do people involved with these early stage backings look for in those early stage companies?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. My main advice usually is to bootstrap because you can build you've got skin in the game. Obviously, you're going to work on it like crazy. You don't have to go crazy and go into debt or anything like that, but your idea should be solid enough to create cash flow. When Airbnb was about to go under, they created Obama O's and they sold cereal on eBay and on a website. Correct. This is real. This is documented. You can Google it. Airbnb was about to go out of business and they hustled and they sold Obama O's cereal.
What?
And that's what pulled them up. There's another story where a guy goes and throws it on Black or whatever. I don't know if it was Jensen Hang or someone, right? They went and threw money on it. So you have these crazy moments. You don't have to go that crazy and gamble, but you should have something that's inside there. So even if I wanted to sell, we offer dental insurance now, but if I wanted to start with dental insurance, that's tough. It's going to cost money. I need to raise money for that. Well, you have to network. You have to reach out. Nowadays, everything's on LinkedIn. So you can use ChatGPT to say, here's my company concept. Who has invested in a similar like concept at a pre-seed, seed, or angel stage in the last 24 months? Gives you a list. Get me more. Give me their LinkedIns. You use a tool like Rocket Reach, Contact Out, or anything to get their cell phone number or email from their LinkedIn. And you message one by one, 1,000 of them. Here's what I'm building. Here's why I think it's going to be successful. If you're interested in getting the deck, just reply yes, and I'll send it, no obligation. And so now you can reach out to 1,000 people that have an interest in a space that you're creating something in. So the best case scenario is you get the cash. The worst case scenario is that you get amazing feedback from some of the people right in that space. And now you've pivoted enough, and then you go back to them with the updated presentation. But bootstrapping is, I'm a bootstrap entrepreneur. I've sold $1 billion of my own products. I believe in bootstrapping because it builds a lot of grit, tenacity.
Massively.
I think a lot of people say, I just got to raise the money. Or if I just raise a little bit more.
You need to build balls.
I need to raise $5 million. It's like, well,
ridiculous.
then you need to go sell something, weight loss medication or something. Dude. I don't know. Make the money, get 3 more jobs, stack the cash, live in a little shack for 2 years straight and stack the cash and then spend it like it's your last dollar. Learn everything yourself, because if you have more time than money, you are responsible for learning. I learned how to program. I learned financial accounting. I learned how to design, Photoshop. I can make music. I can make videos. You just got to learn it. I didn't know anything. You got to learn it. You're responsible for it. So if you're not a numbers girl or numbers guy, you're going to get eaten alive. So you have to become a numbers guy or numbers girl. I'm not a programmer. You don't have to be the best programmer, but you need to understand it, because they're going to grab you and drain you of the fundraising. I've seen it so many times where people will raise for a SaaS or something digital, and they'll go and spend $1 million they raise on an outsourced development firm that doesn't get them far long enough, and now they can't raise again, and now they're a failed founder that raised other people's money.
And charges 10 times what it would normally charge as
so
well.
That's I'm a rugged individualist. That's usually my kind of perspective, but I would say you could do the LinkedIn method, go into local networking, go to meetups.com, see where investors are hanging out, conferences in the space that you want to start. Go there and just go hustle and talk to as many people. Here's what I want to do. What's your 30-second elevator pitch? I am building an oral care startup. I am raising $2 million. I am halfway there, and I'm looking to close it out this weekend. Do you know anyone that I should speak to here? And just go around and do that for 3 days straight at the conference. Sneak in if you don't have money. And that there are many, many ways to do that. Now with AI, you can create an amazing pitch deck, all that stuff.
Did you just come up with that using AI to scrape Rocket Reach and LinkedIn? And then did you just come up with that on the spot, or have you done that before?
I've done that for about 8 years.
Dead set.
Yeah.
And you found some good investors on there, or?
I find everybody. So I need to get to. I'm looking to compress time, which means compress the learning curve for me to move to my next step, and me and my team. So if I'm having let's say I'm having a Shopify issue development wise, I'm going to use ChatGPT today to say, who are the thought leaders in that space? I'm going to find them on LinkedIn. I'm going to text them from my iPhone. Hey, it's Josh Snow. Do you know XYZ? So now I send that to 10 of them. They're going to now connect me like totem poles to the actual specialist. They say, talk to Amy. That's what she does for development. She's amazing. She's actually looking for some contract work. Boom, 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 boom. Nobody does this. I've been talking about it for 8 years. Nobody still does it. They might do AI outreach and stuff now. I directly talk to them. So when I'm looking for a company to buy my company, like I did previously, I'm reaching out directly to the M&A person, introduce myself. When I'm looking to get into Costco, I'm going directly to the buyer. So it's a way to expedite, cost $100 a month for one of these softwares or whatever. but it gives me their cell phone number, their personal Gmail, their work email. And I always tell them I use Rocket Reach to find you because they get a little creeped out sometimes. They go, how'd you get my cell phone number? I said, well, I used Contact Out and I found your LinkedIn and I sent you an email and I wanted to follow up through text. So I'm able to poach, hire, get people that promote so they know I can seed them with what I'm looking for. And oftentimes I pay for that. So if it's someone very high up, they're very busy. So I would say, Liam, can I pay you $500 through Venmo or Zelle for 15 minutes of your time or less in the next 7 days?
I've done that once before as well. What did you have to do it for?
Everything. I do. I'm telling you, boxing coaches, like it, whatever it is, I go to LinkedIn.
Are you
I
trained
use
as well?
ChatGPT. I train. I'm a boxer.
How often you train for?
I tore my meniscus 2 months ago.
Bro, I fucking tore my meniscus 2 months ago as well. I swear on my life, I've got the scans right here.
What?
Have you had the surgery yet?
No, I'm not doing that.
Has it locked?
No.
Mine's fucked. 2 months ago, I tore my meniscus. I swear to God. What the fuck is going on here?
That's crazy. Yeah, 2 months ago in New York.
It locked back and you couldn't straighten it?
Not me. Fuck. No, not me. It just felt like a tiny balloon swelling inside.
Mine
like it was gonna explode.
Mine was like a full rip. So I've got to have surgery because if I pivot that way, it really fucks up.
Yeah.
How long have you been boxing for?
2 years.
Have you had a fight yet?
No.
You gotta have one, bro.
Yeah, I want to throw
feel alive.
I want to throw some MMA and like jujitsu. So I want to throw a couple more things in there to kind of get me a little bit more flexible. But I enjoy it because it's a way for me to externalize that need for intensity that entrepreneurs have.
I'm telling you, I promise you, just like even if you do one, and even if it's some fucking bar, just do one, get it out of the way, because I swear to God, man, like you will never feel more alive when you've got someone in there trying to take your fucking head off.
Yeah.
And listen, bro, you just carry 3 rounds. By round 3, you're gonna feel so tired. Like I felt like I had cinder blocks on my hand. And I only had one, but after you've done it, you get into this new realm where you're like, oh, cool, now I've done something that like 99.9% of people won't fucking do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Same as the entrepreneur boat.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all
I'm
right.
in.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Yeah. Bar fight. Apparently Liam's telling me to get in a bar fight.
We'll do a little bit of that sparring. No, I've only done it for 2.5 years as well.
Okay.
I wish I started earlier.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I lost half the fights I had when I was a kid, but like we grew up in a rough area, so I should
a little more scrappy. I've had enough like those type of fights. I want to do a proper fight and just with no expectation other than I can learn something.
You'll feel
and feel good.
I promise you.
Yeah.
Like after I finished mine, I'm like, and came out the other side. I'm like, oh man, well you know what? Like if you can do that, like fucking, what can't you do? You know?
Right.
Like and the adrenaline.
The adrenaline for sure. I mean, even watching, I watch UFC fights and boxing. And my cousin's a pro boxer, and so I get to see a lot of it and just the thrill that comes from that. It's like F1. There's only a few things that are bare knuckle boxing I might go to next.
Did you watch the trailer for Hayes the Huntsman that I sent you? Was that good or what?
That was wild.
Bro, so just fun fact, he's going to be fighting in September in the Coliseum. First blood sport in the Coliseum in 1,000 years. So when he fights,
no way.
When he draws first blood, that'll be the first drop of blood in that Coliseum for 1,000 years. He's offered me tickets. If you want to come, hook us up.
I'm in.
You want to go to Italy?
1,000%.
Fucking let's do it.
Yeah, when is it?
Coliseum. I haven't got the
Later
exact date.
year?
I'll message him. Did you see?
Yeah, because we'll be in Italy this summer anyway. But I love Italy.
Did you see the fight that he just won?
No. Oh, yes.
Step back, bang.
Yes.
And what about he just walks
out
like
he's going to go crazy in the Coliseum.
So he I got goosebumps talking about this, bro. He's a rising star. I don't know why, and I don't say this to like suck myself off, but for whatever reason, and we talked about this before, when I see someone or when I meet someone, I can read their energy.
Yes.
And I can read what they're going to be. Like these TV shows, these movies, Hayes' career. I saw him when he had a few hundred followers and he was fighting in bars. But the aura and the charisma he took into the fight, I'm like, he's going to be a fucking star.
Oh, yeah.
Connor then picked him up and backed him, bought half the UFC, flew him out to Italy, one shot, bang. He's going to be a star, bro.
He's definitely going to be a star. And then the Coliseum's going to definitely be a propel.
Could you imagine watching the first blood sport in 1,000 years at the Coliseum?
That's what I'm telling you. Yes. Yeah. I didn't even know that exactly was happening.
Well,
but as soon as you told me, I'm in 1,000%. Well, Chuck Liddell, this was 7 years ago, Chuck Liddell became my partner in Snow. And he still is today.
No.
Rob Gronkowski from the NFL, still my partner today.
Yep.
We've done a lot of work with the champion himself, Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Floyd Mayweather, yep.
Casual
so we got to see all of that. And never took cash from any of the celebrities.
Right.
Well, the big thing was we've worked with probably 1,000+ celebrities at this point.
Yep.
Now we focus on affiliatemarketing.com, getting creators, everyday people. Last month, our top creator made $40,000 with 7,000 followers on TikTok.
Yep.
So again, democratizing the opportunity for people to make money. And so we give affiliates a percentage of every sale that they drive on TikTok to drive all of that. But in the beginning, we worked with every teen mom, the Kardashians, Ellen Show, Wendy Williams. I mean, it was like everything that we could do, we were doing, similar to Fashion Nova and a lot of those brands. So we were doing that to popularize that better for you oral care could be cool, right?
Yep.
And so people buy from who they like and trust, and you can expedite that to people who they like and trust when they share that aura to your product. Right.
I got, on that point, I got like one of the best feelings I've ever had was when we started doing affiliate stuff, and I had like single moms that would share a few codes, but that like got them out of poverty.
Correct.
Or that paid their rent.
Oh, life-changing.
That meant so much to me, bro. That
so
meant
much better.
So much.
I mean, I made my first $1 million as an affiliate selling other people's products, and it absolutely put me on a track and trajectory that changed my life. And so for me, paying another celebrity another $100,000, $200,000, we stopped doing that. Like, most of our celebrity stuff was organic. They used the product or they bought it. We'd reach out after and say, hey, would you promote it some more? Some of them did it paid, some of them did it organic. But that whole world, I think, was, at the time, it helped at least get the word out. But in reality, the customers themselves, if you give them an opportunity to make $5,000, $10,000 a month promoting toothpaste, or even $1,000 a month, and they save that up throughout the year, and now they can go to Disney World with their family, and stay-at-home mom is now able to make a few videos. It's absolutely insane, which is why I've launched affiliatemarketing.com, and then on Snow's side, we have one of the biggest and best affiliate programs in the space where people can make money every time people buy toothpaste. And for me, I'm going to pay a retailer, for example, up to 30-40% just to hold the product there. Now they have customers and all this stuff, and there's prestige to their branding, but giving someone 20-25% of every sale to sell the product, and it's life-changing for them, to me, like, that's a no-brainer. So we went all in on building a Discord community, building a school training center.
You built Discord around affiliate marketing or Snow?
Both, but
really?
Snow was the first one. So we started with Snow.
How did that do?
Incredible. We get to talk one-to-one with all of our affiliates who are 18 years old, or they're 40, or they're a stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home dad, they're 55. One of our top promoters for toothpaste is 55 plus, crushing it on TikTok, being able to pay off his mortgage, bad debt, credit card debt, pay off his car, buy another car. Like, you see the impact right away in a few months, like literally 3 months. Their whole life changes from promoting Snow on TikTok, which is crazy. And it's just post a video, tag the little thing. One has 16 million, 25 million. These people have 5,000 followers.
Do you find sometimes like the ability to elevate someone feels better than the ability to make money?
Almost always.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, almost always. Making money is good because I love to then tip people and take care of people, and so money is a conduit or a vehicle to do what I love the most, which is to inspire people, to help them feel more like themselves, to believe in themselves, to think bigger and longer term, and to give back. It's nonprofit is important to me, but also the stuff that I do here, the podcast that you've created, being able to give back and share without charging someone for it, and they get an opportunity to learn. So I think being able to, like you said, you uplift people, that's intoxicating. And I think it's important that, yes, money's important. We play a sport. It's called business. It's driven by profits and revenues and investment and all this stuff. But we can't kid ourselves. At the end of the day, every one of my customers is someone that believed in me and believed in our products. And it's important, and I'm responsible for driving that forward and making sure that they have a pleasant experience. Even if they choose not to come back for 5 years, I want the opportunity to win them back. And I think if you can create a business, a service, or a product that is a proxy for uplifting people, their confidence, how they feel, fitness, mindset, anything like that, you have a way to mass do that, right? If you have one of my mentors, Dr. Cialdini, sold 10 million plus books with influence, and influence has changed my life. It's changed so many lives. And for $10, $20, whatever the book is today, you have an opportunity to en masse change people's trajectory and help them believe more in themselves. So I think that's really for me. I don't think you can change people very much. I think you can help them change themselves, and you can help them become more of themselves.
I could not agree more. And there's something else you said in there that I'm going to pick up on in a sec. One thing on some business while we're doing this podcast, I told you who I'm meeting yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want me to keep that private, or do you want me
Tell
to
him? Yeah,
okay.
I think it's
Pablo
exciting.
Escobar's pilot coming on tomorrow, so I'm going to talk to him. I think I'm going to gift him some snow.
I love that.
Because I just think it's funny,
I love
bro.
that. Why not?
But what I'm going to do, I'm going to do it for free, and I'm going to clip it, and I'm going to give it to you as an ad. If you want me to pop a code in there or something, let's talk about that. I can do that as well.
Let's do that for
sure. Because I think, man, like I don't know. Maybe I'm weird, but I believe the universe just sends you stuff.
I think so.
And I believe it's no coincidence. And I'll do the clip for free.
I think I love that.
Let's just chuck some codes in there, bro.
Absolutely. Why not?
Dude, this is mad.
Why not? Let's do it. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, Pablo Escobar's ads behind it, bro.
Just run it. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. But why not? Look,
let's set up a campaign. I'll pop
everybody's an adult. Everybody has fun with stuff.
Dude, of course.
We've gone through so much as a world together, COVID, etc. You got to live a little bit, you know. And it's why not have some whitening teeth wipes, some magic powder for Pablo Escobar's pilot to throw in there. That'd be
Dude,
funny.
his name's Roger Reeve. He's fantastic. So we'll pop that in there, and we'll tap some affiliate codes, discount codes. Let's talk about like a really cool plug that we could do as well. I think that'd be good.
Yeah.
But you mentioned something in that last sentence. I don't know if you picked up on it, but I did. You mentioned about how, your customers believed in you. I want to go back to, when you were first consuming Steve Jobs' pitches, and I feel like most young entrepreneurs, that's the point at which they really start to like think about and manifest what they want. But at the same time, most entrepreneurs that I've met always had someone who kind of believed in them before they did, to some extent. Who were the people that believed in you at the start, maybe before you did?
I mean, I would say my parents for sure, but beyond that, they had no idea what I was doing on the computer. So it was hard to fathom what that could become. So I don't think they had a fair chance at that. But to that extent, I had some teachers growing up. I wasn't always a straight A student. I was actually kind of a class clown, kind of disruptive in class, and my teachers would always tell me, Josh, if you applied yourself, you'd be so great. And they put a little chair outside the class for me, and
I had the same thing. I got expelled as well, by the way.
Yeah, luckily I never got expelled, but I was definitely kind of rowdy, and I think that my brain was just all over the place, and I was bored, right? And I think when you're bored and you happen to have some intelligence naturally, like everybody has, it kind of crystallizes into potentially disruptive childhood. But I was a good kid. It's just I couldn't sit still, and so I think that some of the teachers back then that believed in me gave me a lot of oomph in terms of my confidence.
That's good, bro. That's rare to hear. It
was nice, yeah.
Because most teachers, they don't do that. They just tell the
kids. I had some. Yeah. I mean, I had some.
No, but it's rare to have a good one like that. It's awesome.
They were good. Miss Deaver, she was my English teacher, and she was phenomenal. And she would spend time with me, and she found that I was a very gifted writer, and which led to copywriting and all this stuff. But that belief led me to ace my state test 100% in the reading and writing area. So she ended up framing it, putting it up there. She was proud of that we had worked together on that. And I think that once I started to take feedback as a benefit versus a threat, fight or flight. And when I could just soak it in, and I don't know when it clicked, but I think for me, I would say that where you come from does not dictate where you're going to go and where you're going at all. I'm living proof. You're living proof. We know that now. Get rid of any of the entitlements from before, because one of the fears that I think happens as people are building their business, they start to crystallize their mindset, which kind of drives their trajectory, their attitude, their style. And it can come off as hyper scarce a lot of times. It's like, I've got to get my own. I think a lot of entrepreneurs think we've got to go into our cave, figure it all out, create this whole line, and then come out of our cave and look, I'm successful. I did 100 million or whatever. And everybody thinks in base 10. And it's after coaching and teaching tens of thousands of entrepreneurs, and every making $1 billion a year to $1 a year, everybody. I've seen that the limiting belief comes in because the base 10 means I've got to make $1 million, 10 million, 100 million, or $1 billion. And I sold a company a few years ago for 70 million. 70 is pretty dope. So, you know, there's between 10 and 100 is 90 million. So you're telling me at your stage or your age, you're not willing to take 33 million, put that into real estate and let it compound and be with your kids and your family. You can do that right now. Or you want to get to this 100 million that's elusive. It feels conclusive, but really you get there and you go, well, I just have more of the same stuff. And I think realizing that, I read a book by an English gentleman who built PC Magazine, Maxim Magazine, a bunch of companies. His name was Felix Dennis, and he wrote a book called How to Get Rich. Horrible name for a fantastic book, but it grabs your attention, right?
Yeah.
And in there, I remember being on a plane ride, and I was reading this book, and it kind of shook me, because I found out he had passed recently while I'm reading the book. I didn't do a ton of research. I just saw How to Get Rich, Felix Dennis, seems cool, exciting, grabbed it. I'm reading it. I'm like, this seems really good. It's just like really good. And so of course I research him. I go, oh my gosh, he passed. And there's a section in the book where he talks about, you know, he went on to have multiple heart attacks and just kind of all this stuff. And he says, I wish I would have stopped earlier and planted trees and wrote poetry. And there was something in there in those words that felt so internal to me that it kind of started to reconfigure the compass. And I can sense now when I'm around people who are so eager to get their base 10 that they will plow through anyone in their way. If you can't help them get out of the way, transactional, very internal. And what I want to tell those people, because I work with them after the fact, when they get the money, hard-headed, selfish, you're a pawn in my game, I gotta win at all costs.
What value can you give to me?
Give to me. They're mean to employees. Like,
what can I use you for?
Unfortunately, a lot of them do make a lot of money. I'll tell you, a lot they do. But I talk to them after they make the money, and they all say the same thing. You either work on your way along the way, or you work on your way when you get there. And you can even see in Marcus Pearson, who created, you know, Minecraft, Minecraft.
Yep.
And he talked about, after selling for all this money, how lonely he was. And I think, and he gave 10 million to some of the employees as bonuses and all this stuff. And they said it wasn't enough. So he's sitting here. He bought the most expensive LA home, had a candy wall. I remember he outbid Beyonce and Jay-Z.
I think your buddy bought the most expensive LA home. Fashion Nova.
Oh, well, Rich did come back, but at the time,
right,
that was the biggest sale. It was like $180 million listing. He bought it, whatever. He had the most expensive place in Sweden. And so he moves over. So you've got this candy wall, exciting. And he tweeted, he's since deleted them, but you can pull them up to archive. But he was tweeting one night how lonely, etc. And that was really scary to me, to sell a company for $2 billion after pocketing hundreds of millions in dividends. And you've got all this money, you've got this great team, you built a game and all this fun stuff that people love, and to feel so alone. And so I've seen that now play out in my own life, and I've seen it play out in those who have 10 times the money I have. And so you gotta, you know, sometimes it takes people 12 divorces. You know, they go through a path, but I think if they were to spend more time working on themselves, resolve those demons internally, because I can smell it now and it's very unattractive now that I've done the work.
When you're the best version of yourself, you attract the best type of people.
I think so. And the truest version of yourself. And that's fine if that's a true version of yourself that's very competitive, very isolated, solo, I must win. There are certain sports like boxing where you have to be in that mindset that I am the best. There is no one better than me. I have trained better than everyone. I'm going to beat you. And you have to have that. But I think that entrepreneurship is mostly a team sport.
Oh, yeah. No, without question. And it's weird, though, because it's like, it's counterintuitive because they call boxing the loneliest sport, but you also are a product of the people who train you 1,000%. And support you. So it's kind of like, it is in one sense, but it's also collaborative as well. For sure. It's like being an entrepreneur, bro. Yeah, it's fucking lonely, but it's only as lonely as you make it.
But hold on a second. This is key. Floyd Mayweather has multiple coaches, multiple rehab coaches for every muscle group. He's got a trainer, a nutritionist. And then you see these entrepreneurs running at high scale without a therapist. When we make all our money from here.
So, bro, that's really, we were talking about that before. That's very profound.
It is.
And it's weird. You're the third entrepreneur I've spoke to this week who said that that's been like one of the most important parts of their development.
Yeah.
Like my buddy just moved out here. He's making about $1 million a month in weight loss subs, and he's so much more at peace because he's away from the Miami chaos. He's got a therapist that he sees like twice a week, and he's in that comeback era mentally,
right,
where he wants to level up from $1 million to $10 million a month. But like he's like, I can't do that if I don't.
I'm not going to compromise
100%
my mental acuity, my mental health,
Yep.
because I believe that's the biggest, I would say, biggest epidemic in entrepreneurship is that loneliness, the isolation, the refusal to ask for help. I get it. I had no one to ask for help growing up, so I learned to do everything myself. But asking for help is a superpower. Being able to ask the best people you can get around you. And if you don't have a circle around you, your brain is a supercomputer. Computers get viruses, they get slow, pop-ups, malware, adware, spyware. Sometimes you have to do an antivirus and you have to flush what's inside of there. But what you watch and what you listen to, the auditory is coming in, and you're learning, right? You're listening, you're seeing, your brain is processing that at rapid speed. It's a supercomputer. So if you're hanging around a bunch of losers or people that are negative or even neutral, I don't even do neutrality anymore for very long. Positive. You could be positive in your own world. You could be a gymnast, and I'm all about the positivity gymnast and all this stuff. That's fine. Yeah. But that aura and energy has to be productive for an optimistic individual. And I think we isolate as entrepreneurs because we might tell our friends and family, hey, I'm starting this. I don't think that's going to work, Liam. I don't know. I call that false concern. Or you have people that say, that's going to work. You need to do that immediately. And that's also could be dangerous because now it pushes you to mortgage your house. And now you're in this business that you shouldn't have started because now you feel entitled to reciprocate to your friend group that you're doing it. How's that project going, Liam? True. How's that project? And then what a lot of us do, especially if you're good at marketing or sales, shiny object syndrome. So now you have 12 projects. So now when you explain to someone, well, and there's a sense of intensity of sharing that. And then there's the confirmation bias that comes from the people you tell around you. Oh, you're doing so many things. You're going to be so successful. You're going to be a billionaire. You're going to be this. So I think there's a crystallization that happens that becomes very difficult to see through. And so I think you got to shatter the glass and really look at the end of the day. We are here, in my opinion, to leave the earth better than we've arrived in any way, shape, or form. Through mental, helping people write a book, even 100 people that you can talk to is more than one. And so I think if you clean up your podcasts you listen to, shows you watch, books you're reading, friends you hang around with, music even you listen to, if you're at that stage, you have to really surround your brain with the most productive assets and inputs. And I think that the most dangerous one is the internal dialogue, imposter syndrome,
I've had
ego.
that a lot as well.
I've had
it's
it all.
It's a hard one, man. That one's really, because you feel like you don't exist.
Yeah.
Or you're watching a version of yourself that isn't you. You're like, oh, this guy's killing it, but what about me? I'm like, oh,
well, Jim Carrey. you know Jim Carrey. He went away for a while from Hollywood, and he shared in a fascinating interview that was a bit eccentric, but you could tell that he had been dealing with some demons, in my opinion.
No, I agree.
I kind of connected with that.
Yep.
And during that kind of season that he was in, he shared that famously, The Mask, right, the movie, he said wearing a mask for too long. And when you look at depression, burnout is generally a lack of control and a lack of clarity.
Yeah.
And so you have to gain control fast and then find the clarity by removing things that are confusing. You have to kind of find that clarity. Clarity comes from progress. So you can't just lay in bed and be depressed. You have to do it. So it's a balancing act. But I think when he mentioned that wearing that mask or being these characters is draining. And for him growing, he had no money, Canadian, and he wrote a check to himself, $10 million when he was living in a car, and manifested deeply. And he got that $10 million from the mask, and up front, by the way. And so he got that money. But I think playing the character that other people expect of you for too long, it naturally wears on you, and it creates a cognitive dissonance where now you create this resentment toward the people around you, perhaps, or mostly to yourself for not being strong enough to be yourself in front of people. So I think the closer the distance is between who you play and who you truly want to be inside and who you are, if you can close that gap as much as you can throughout the week, you'll be happier because you'll know that you're doing things that feel right inside of your body versus playing a character for too long. And then you lose that, and that satellite gets further and further, and you have to keep up so many masks.
Yeah.
And it becomes exhausting, and it leads to burnout. And so I think really getting in tune with yourself, which therapy helps with, psychologists, whatever you got to see, pray, whatever is your sauce, do more of it, because being yourself and admitting that is so freeing to other people, because they see in my stature and what I built, when they meet me in person and say, wow, he's himself, he's saying what's on his mind, he's telling everything, he's not hiding anything. And it feels so freeing to do that.
Do you know what it feels like since I first met you today? And correct me if I'm wrong, but like I feel like I'm meeting one of the best versions of you in your life at this point.
For sure.
And it's such a fucking honor and a privilege, because like I feel like we've gone through such a similar journey in life.
Yeah.
And I know the work that it's taken you to get here, because I've had to go through it. The imposter syndrome, the fucking lonely chapter, the not asking for help chapter, the self-realization chapter. It's fucking hard, bro. So it's really good to like meet this version. It's like,
likewise.
I don't know, man. Maybe the universe just brings you in at that point.
Everything happens for a reason.
100%.
I'm telling you. And Austin, one of my best friends, and he's my chief of staff.
You got a good crew here too, man.
I'm telling you, the people, that's the thing, is you gotta, sometimes you don't have, and I appreciate you saying that, because this is the best version of myself so far.
I can tell.
And it's still, we're always figuring things out. Imposter syndrome never goes away, because sometimes you go, I'm just a broke kid, what am I doing here type of deal. Even though 10 years go by and you go,
it's hard to say that, because I go through this shit all the time, man.
And you know what? You are exactly where you're supposed to be always. If the plane's late, the plane's laid out for a reason. And if you just, even if you're not religious, you just let go of those expectations. Focus on, and this is stoicism now, only focus on what you can control. And so what can I control? Well, I'm going to hydrate better today, because maybe the plane will be late, and I want to make sure I'm not in a bad mood because I'm dehydrated. So that self-realization has to come through some form, shape, yoga, meditation, float spas, something where you got to spend a lot of time with yourself, because we have forgotten how to be bored, because there's so much stimulation.
Bro, can I tell you that it's so weird that you say that? That's one of the things that I had to master recently, is like I've had to literally force myself in that situation to deal with it, because I'm like
so uncomfortable.
I can deal with chaos,
right?
But I can't fucking deal with like quiet. So I've had to
calm.
force myself. Like you have to sit there an hour, no tech, no nothing, and people don't understand. For people like us, how fucking hard that is, man.
So
being alone with your thoughts.
I gotta tell you. So last week, me and Amanda, my girlfriend Amanda, we went to a place called
Co-host in the background over here.
In the background.
Hey, by the way,
producing.
Amanda, how are we doing for time? What time are we at? 12:30.
Okay.
12:30. Oh fuck, we just blasted an hour and a half.
That's pretty good.
That's mental for like 10 seconds.
We were. There's a company called Under Canvas, and they do like glamping experiences. They're very cute, nice, and so we did one of the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee. Absolutely beautiful, gorgeous. But we did not know that upon arrival, we would be notified that there's absolutely no Wi-Fi signal, which makes sense. You're in the middle of the mountains and stuff, but some of the other camps do have, Wi-Fi even in the general area. Yeah. So there are these canvas, they have a shower and a bed, and you can kind of stay in there. So you get to camp, right, without all the setup and stuff.
Yeah.
So we go there, and we both were like freaking out for a little bit, but it ended up being really nice. I think that it's important to take, whether it's a full day, maybe it's a couple hours, and it's so hard because I built all my businesses digitally.
Yep.
I'm invested in 24 companies. I'm looking at the reports all day. There's always something to look at. Worst case, shop or doom scroll. So you always have something.
I don't mind a little bit of a stimming scroll.
A little bit.
Yeah, just like 10 minutes. Just stim with some brain rot back.
But it's hard, man. It's hard because all money and all value is created in production, not consumption.
I agree.
So, and it's so hard because
I say that to everyone.
I know. Then I always say, well, because we get to cheat a little bit in terms of we're doing market research, right? So when I'm shopping, I'm looking at the ads.
I'd say that too.
I'm taking screenshots.
Yeah, my girl's like, why are you on TikTok? I'm like, I'm working, motherfucker.
I'm looking at ads. I'm on Snapchat trying to find an ad. I'm just literally,
job.
all right, I found it, screenshot. So it's like the doom scrolling, the news, kind of the stuff that I watch. But we're all human. Now, keep in mind, even the best business men in the world, J.P. Morgan back in the day in the United States, Cornelius Vanderbilt, Henry Ford, I'm sure they read the newspaper. In fact, Warren Buffett says he reads 8 hours a day or whatever huge amount that he reads. And that allows him to drive his judgment to make the moves, day by day. So to a certain degree, there's some validity to that. But I think that taking, 2 hours where you just no screens, lock them away, no anything, and just be bored by yourself is important. Do you find it
hard as well?
It's very difficult. Yeah. Like those float spas that I used to go to, and I'm due for one, but sitting in those deprivation tanks for an hour, hour and a half, the first 30 minutes, even a massage,
bro,
it takes
the first
me 30
one
minutes.
fucked me up. I was in there, I was like, this is fucked. I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm like, I hate being alone with my thoughts. I'm like, I can't even write shit down. And then after the half an hour, I'm like, you don't need to write it down. Like, you just need to learn to fucking exist.
But the thing is, I always think through two quotes I like is when men or women lack purpose, they seek pleasure. So that's really important, right? And then I think that becoming comfortable in the you have to push past it. You have to build a tenacity, a stamina for sitting with those uncomfortable feelings and thoughts. Because if you don't, you will find resolve, and usually it's through drinking, drugs, just crazy stuff, skydiving. I need to find the thrill somewhere else because I don't feel comfortable in those thoughts and feelings. And I think the more you seep in them, and I think it requires ejecting anything that's Wi-Fi enabled, and you just spend one day. I would challenge everybody listening, the next 3 months, even schedule it next month if you can, next week really, and say I'm gonna spend one day, even just a daytime, 8 hours with no phone, no laptop, no nothing. I'll bring a pen and a pad, old school, and I'm just gonna go sit and by the lake by myself. I'm just gonna think through things and let the brain, let the RAM process. We don't sleep well enough anymore because we have the TV on while we sleep, the screen. So you need to let the front of the house get to the back of the house, and the neural processing that happens while you're asleep, sleeping well, and while you spend time. Traveling is nice if you're able to do it. Traveling opens you up. Get off your phone unless you're taking a picture. But you need a little bit of that stimulation from nature, from being bored, and learning to be comfortable in your own thoughts and feelings, no matter how uncomfortable. I want to reach for something. I want to go do something. I need stimulation. If you just get comfortable in that, all of a sudden it creates over time. You just keep doing it. Meditation is how a lot of people get there. It creates a stillness inside of your body that is really attractive to other people, because people want to be around people who don't want anything from them.
Oh, I could not agree more, man. And do you know what's weird? You probably found this the same as me, but when I was dealing with all celebrities for my partnerships and whatnot, I always seemed to be at ease with them and vice versa. And I think, and I could be wrong, but I think it's because I never really needed anything from them. This is just business, whatever. I'm not here to try and extort value, or I don't have any ulterior motives. This is just what we do. And so when we talk, it's when you don't need anything from someone and it's just a value exchange, they feel more comfortable.
For sure.
And I felt like they felt comfortable around me because I'm like, well, your job's a job the same as mine's a job. You probably give just as much fucks about mine as I do about yours. It's no one's here to impress each other.
No.
And that made people feel at ease.
Correct.
So you're right. When you don't need anything from someone and it's just a pure organic relationship with a real value exchange, I think those are the best types of relationships.
I think so. I think it's, and actually Felix Dennis in that book, How to Get Rich, he talked about his most lucrative business deal was one he teamed up with two of his partners on, two of his friends. They partnered up, they acquired this, it was a computer company or something, and they made $700 million or something off of it. But he said it was nice because he had PC Magazine, Maxim, where he could go exert his creative kind of dictatorship, essentially. So when there was that expression that would come up, instead of combating, they could work in a space where they all didn't need it. They all were 100 millionaires with their own companies, and they could collaborate on something that could change a lot of lives. And I think that abundance, that kind of banter that comes from that, all right, fine, we'll do it red, we'll check the data, kind of loose, and then you can run back to your base and kind of work through that. But I think I've had the same experience working with hundreds of celebrities directly in it's fascinating. I think what they all have built some amazing stuff. And so for me, it's fascinating. I don't know that much about it, right? And so for me, I see people as they are. So if you work in my warehouse, or you're the CMO, or you're the janitor at the hotel I'm staying at, I don't see a difference. And so I think coming up from nothing and having nothing. One of the things my dad always said was, never make fun of someone with something they can't control.
Yeah. And
so for me, it was quashed early on that I could kind of level playing field, and knowing that I've come from that, I can see that, everybody is unique and special. And I always look, when I talk to someone, I try to find the combination to their safe. So there's 3 or 4 digits, and I have to ask questions to find the answers.
Yeah.
And that helps me understand them. And for me, I'm fascinated by any person, truly. And I believe what they do is awesome. Like I truly try to stay in that realm of fascination and intellectually curious.
Curiosity.
Curiosity.
I say the same thing.
And just have that and be able to banter. And that's
it's
why
a good attribute to have.
And you have that. You have you have charisma, but charisma definitely helps. But
weaponized mental illness, I call it.
But you have it, and you get to people right away. When I hang out with whoever it is, right? Is what were you doing last week? And hey, I saw your post on this. How was that? Because I want to know that. And I'm like, should I buy a Can-Am?
But when you genuinely want to know, I think it comes off as so much more authentic. Like, maybe I'm the same. Maybe I'm the same as you in this way as well. Like, I'm really bad at being fake. I can't be fake,
it's
bro.
hard.
Like, I just what you see is what you get. Like, I'm no different fucking behind this camera than I am when we get off camera.
For sure, no.
And I fucking like being like that.
Doesn't it feel stay like that?
Oh,
I'm telling you,
so much more free, bro.
And it also allows other people to be free. And I found we were in Cabo with a group of like 15 of us, and everybody, even Luke flying in from Scotland, like everybody had the aura. And for me, I love to curate and collect that aura because it's so nice to be around.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't match, I'm kind of like, get out of here type of deal.
It's funny, bro. Rob Oliver, Rob the Bank, he did a piece on that the other day. And he's like, I aura farm to kind of get that elevation around me.
I like that.
We should do like a panel one with him one day.
Yeah.
That'd be, because we just bounce back and forth, you know what I mean? 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah.
All right, look, I said we'd blasted an hour and a half. I think we've actually blasted 2 because we started around 10:30. So that's fucking 2 hours, man. Pardon my French.
Sounds about right. It seemed like 5 minutes.
That's what I said at the start. So look, I'm going to finish with 2 things. One is just going to be a little anecdote. The other one's going to be a little more profound. So the first one is, you mentioned you're friends with the founder of Fashion Nova.
Rich, yeah.
That house that he bought. Have you been there?
No, I haven't.
Yeah,
no,
okay.
It's massive. My buddy Dan Fleischman has. It's
the boys told me about him too.
It's wild. Yeah,
Tell me about him. What's he like? What's the house like? What
very private, very quiet. Amazing entrepreneur. Someone I look up to like crazy. Built that thing from essentially one store in a mall to an absolute empire. I could not imagine, and I've gotten a glimpse into the supply chain and all of that, but we have probably 100 SKUs across the board, maybe 150 with flavors and colors and all that. To have hundreds of thousands of SKUs to cycle through is absolutely incredible. So the only thing I wish that he'd do more of is some more podcasts and stuff, but everybody has their own, like,
yeah, man.
And it's, you do what feels right for you.
My buddy
type
who's
of deal.
a billionaire as well. He just likes to, they do, I don't know. I think when you, at that level.
And I respect it. I mean, I totally get it. And it's just like, would be, even for myself, right?
Yeah.
As a fan of what he's built.
You just want to learn,
like,
hey.
I'll do a little bit more. It's just fun. It's just fun to hear about. And like, it's insane. And I think at some point, I'm sure, whenever he wants a book, or there might be a documentary actually made on him. Perhaps our production studio will be able to get him to do a little bit something. But I think a lot of people can learn from that. And even if you have nothing to sell, being able to share those stories is exciting. But him, Kurt, who built Vita Proteins, Brandon, Liquid IV, some of these consumer packaged goods titans, Lovesack, Sean, who built Lovesack, which is now $1 billion public company.
Do you know
Beanbags.
David Fogarty from the Udi? Have you met him before?
So I never met him in person. We've exchanged a few times, and he's phenomenal.
Yeah,
as
he
well.
seems really down to earth.
I think he seems amazing.
For someone who's built something that quickly, like he's really down to earth. So he's in our Shark Tank, actually.
Yes, I saw that.
And he did it young, bro, too. Like really fucking
the youngest shark, I think, on there.
Yep.
And it's so awesome to see, you know, ecom and what he's doing with Daily Mentor as well.
He adds value to people too.
Correct.
That's what we got to do, bro. Just, I think you,
Add
me,
value.
and him, all of our shit's 99% free.
Yeah, just
you know?
add value. Give it. I think you give all this stuff away for free, and it's really the things that you have to justify. You know, if I'm running $100 million company, I got to spend a few hours with someone. I've got to justify that versus hanging out, you know, with my girlfriend or my friends, or working out or boxing.
It's the same with me.
And I have to, and it's like,
yeah.
So you have to validate, you know, some of that. But that's why we have masterminds where a couple hundred people can join. We have events.
Yeah, I just learned about that, and that actually seems better because it's like a more scalable way to access more people and sacrifice less time because they're all in the one room, right?
Streaming is a good way. So I love to stream. Events are life-changing because you spend 2 or 3 days with people, and you have breakthrough moments with people one-on-one. You can do breakout rooms. So the events are awesome. People that aren't able to make it physically can stream it. They can get the recordings. You're able to bring some interesting guests that would never speak normally. You know, can we get Rich? Can we get Kurt? Can we get Brandon? Can we get Sean? And so those are really unique experiences, I would say. And then we try to blend in things like whitewater rafting, skiing, or things where we can get people out of their shell as an entrepreneur. Like, hey, I know we're all working. I know we're on our laptops. Put them down for 2 hours. Let's ski for a little bit. And then they end up skiing for 6 hours and having a blast. And through that, they come back with a much more calm resonance, and I think that aura is a lot more attractive, and it opens up to other people. And I believe in the law of attraction. I believe in manifestation. I was once a broke kid on a city bus with not enough money to buy a computer. So
same with me.
If I wasn't manifesting and thinking through, but I truly believe you got to lead with value. One of my best friends, Josh Denny, that's his big thing is lead with value, no expectations, and he is the living, walking truth of that. And for me, I think of how can I leave this room, this conversation, how can I enlighten someone, brighten someone's day? Because even if it's a few minutes on the phone with a customer support rep, why do I have to be an a-hole? You know, everybody's got a job, they're doing it. And I think that calmness allows people to kind of be themselves a little bit more.
Yep.
And it also diffuses a lot of the ego in the room. So
that's a hard one to deal with.
That's a hard one.
Sometimes you just got to toss someone out of the room, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, it's just they're not ready for it, and and I hope that
you just got to not return their calls.
But it's hard, dude. So I've lived there, man, and it's hard to live in that crystallization. It's very lonely and isolating. What do you think? I am not good enough because I need to make more money. And this guy's making that much money. Let me ask him a quick question because once I get the answer, I'll be able to do it better than him. So there's just this like. And I feel it. And for me, as a calmer person, I go, look, we'll do 100 million next year. We'll do 200 million, perhaps. What needs to be true in order to do that? And then I get to empower incredible people on my team and ask them that question. Hey, Liam, what would it take for us to scale Nordstrom 50% instead of 30% next month? What would be it? Thinking's free. Let's just think about it. Well, they would have to order more toothbrushes. Well, what would have to be true for them to order more toothbrushes? The sell-through would have to be fast in the next 2 weeks. Well, what could we do to get the sell-through there? And so be able to coach people through that as you learn together, you navigate, and perhaps you might know the answer, but helping, and you learn from how other people problem solve, how they think. And I think that what I found in meeting some ultra intelligent people, hyper intelligence, is that they're fascinated in how to fish, not getting the fish. And I think it's hard to be around people at this stage in my life that are just looking for a fish. I need a Lambo. I need to sell this thing for 100 million. I need to use this. And so it creates that dynamic where if people are themselves, they're going to get there anyway. And you're going to get to exactly where you need to be. It may take, in my case, I'm an 18-year overnight success story. And so and Snow is a 10-year overnight success story that I've taken $0 out of, reinvested every dollar. So for me, I'm a long-term investor. Longevity is important, which means that I keep my circle as tight as I can, and we've got some amazing people.
You do have a good circle, man. Having met these people, like, you've got good people around you.
Oh, they're phenomenal, man. I'm so blessed.
Energy lifting, the energy, positivity,
they're just optimism. Themselves. They're awesome, optimistic. Everyone believes in it. Imagine we were in Cabo, imagine being with 15, 16 people, and you say, hey, I want to create the world's first water flosser mouthwash drops. And I want to put, probiotic in there. Oh, you know what we should do, Josh? You should put this in there. And, and so we that was our internal friend group. But we curate that very carefully because it allows people to really think bigger, relax. You still get to talk business, but you get to chill. And we try to replicate that through our events, all around the world. How can we create that same type of room in a streaming environment, in a real life environment, whether it's in the Caribbean and people get to go on vacation with their kids and come in and hang out. So how do we create that environment? Because I feel like that touch, when you realize that you can be around people that are relaxed, that are also crushing it. We have friends doing $1 billion a year and they're relaxed, chilling.
It's I think it's also true because like you or me have been around so many people that don't have that and have so many snakes around them and hang-ons, and it's just like when you've seen that, I think you appreciate your positive circle so much more. Yeah. I
don't care what someone does in my life. They can be a gardener. I love that. Teach me about plants. I want to learn. What could I grow in my kitchen? Just there's so much fascination, and I think it requires dissolving the egocentrism, the ego, anything narcissistic. You have to really go deep into that, and if you can remove those stinky feathers, then you'll attract better weather. And I think that's what happens is that. And this is deep, right? This requires some internalization, and some people are already there and they're just, I want to give, but you also have to think of what do I need so I feel good when I go home? Because if I just give and I go home and feel broken, I'm giving at the expense of my own area.
Very true.
It's a fine balance though, because then it's take. So you got to balance inside of here and say, okay, what am I looking to do? If I'm going to donate some money, I'm donating because I want to, and that makes me feel good. That's going to help someone else. No expectation. If I'm going to hang out with my friends, no expectation. You could be a gardener. You could be anything you want, artist. As long as you're allowing yourself to be yourself around us, that's going to be nice. And then positivity and optimism is always nice. Because who wants to be around a negative person all day long?
Honestly, sometimes I just have to disconnect when I meet someone like that. I'm like, look, it is what it is. Have a nice day. Like, all the best. I wish you nothing
complaining.
But the best.
Forget
I've got to bail, man. I need to protect my energy and my peace.
Why complain? We go on these nice. We go to some beautiful. We're blessed to go to some beautiful places. And sometimes you hear a couple of guests might be complaining. You're like, gosh, could you imagine being in the middle of the ocean on this beautiful island and having something to complain about?
Bro, do you know what I say to people someday? I say some people would kill for your worst day. And I'm like, if you're on a holiday fucking complaining, why don't I drag you to a cancer ward? I want you to explain to a dying 10-year-old why you're fucking so depressed today. You know what I mean? Like,
but it's the internal. It's in there, dude. Because I've been there. I've been on some, and I'm guilty of it. I've been on some where I'm like so stressed out about business. I'm like, I shouldn't have spent this much time on holiday, whatever. But it's the internal racket, and so you have to, tell yourself, look, I already spent the money. I'm already here. I should enjoy it. Let me really soak it in. And then you've got to think about seasons, and you go, this is celebrating this season, and by opening up my mind, my neural processing is going to find something that I couldn't find otherwise by being so tight. It's like you look for your sunglasses and they're on your head. You got to relieve that, and travel is one of the best ways to do it. Exercise is very important. Community, even if it's a virtual community, having a community of like-minded individuals, I think has always been there since the beginning of time, is community, village. Like, you have to have a supporting layer. And in the beginning, I didn't necessarily have all those pieces, but I sought it out so badly over time that I decided that I would start to curate, and then others would help me curate. And then together we could create this internal group, and then a mastermind streaming. And so we have fun. It's open-ended. We're hanging out.
That's mad, bro.
That is really what it's about. And then real time, you can see the questions come in, and you build a culture of, yes, we want to do amazing things. This thing might sell for 100 million, billion. It might, but I know I already have all that I need and more than enough. And what do I really need now? Well, I need profit from my business so that I can invest that into something less risky. If you take the risk to make the money, you take less risk to invest it, as little as possible, inverse.
Isn't it good when you can just be the architect of your own world like that? Just design it however you want it to be.
And let other people create the variations. It's like a choose your own adventure book. And so you get to bring together some of the most beautiful people in the world, and they get to meet each other. And then you get to sit back and watch the conversations that those amazing people have. And it's so heart-filling. And even the mastermind, you see them solving each other's problems. Hey, connect here. And being able to create that type of dynamic and allow people to excel and kind of believe in themselves further and also work together and help each other. And so it's just a really fun, being able to curate and help curate that type of energy, I think is incredible. And I get to benefit from it because that's what I want.
I couldn't agree more, mate. Even listening to you talk about that, I'm like, I was imagining myself being there as well.
100%. We had a blast.
So the last one, before I hit the last one,
Yeah.
I'm going to make some predictions because I always like to get this on camera so I can say, yeah, I fucking told you so. So I'm going to make a few. So number one, I think in the next few years, you're going to either have a book deal, a movie deal, or a TV show. I don't know which one it's going to be, but it'll be one of the three. That's just what I can feel the energy around that. So that's going to happen. Number two, I'm going to give Snow White in Pablo Escobar's pilot, Roger Reeve. That's going to be hectic. That's my second prediction. Number three, I don't know what it's going to look like, but like I think in some capacity, whether it's just fucking advice or like a coffee or a phone call or who knows what capacity, but in some capacity, you'll have some input into my $100 million gummy bear company that we're building. And I'll put a link in that to the bio as well.
I'd love to.
I just, you know where you can see it in your head and you can almost grab it? I feel like I can almost touch it.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it's going to look like, but there'll be something there.
I'll help you touch it.
I would love that. So they're my three predictions. I've got them on camera now. Last one I want to put out there because I think this is important. My job in here, like number one, I only talk to people that I like, that I'll get along with, that share my values, my energy, my morals, my code, my aura, all that sort of stuff. They got to have elements of me. I have to genuinely like the people because I want my audience to be in a room with a friend.
Right.
So that's my rule for the podcast. But number two, I've got an important job because anyone that comes on this with me, I'm capturing a part of their story and their legacy.
Yes.
And that's something that 100 years from now, anyone who wants to know you can come into this podcast and they can do that. So it's a very important job for me to do. So I'll wrap it up with a simple one. We've learned about what you've done and who you are. And it's really good to meet this version of you because I can see all that work that you've put in to kind of be here now. And it's very impressive. But, maybe this is hard to answer, maybe it's not. But, circling all the way to where we are today, what do you want people to remember about you 100 years from now?
Generous, huge heart, hard on the people I love because I want the best for them. Great father, great husband, awesome friend, great builder. I like to build things, and inspirational through my own kind of, travels and stuff of building businesses, being able to share that. So just kind of being a totem pole, like just being placed in there, and there's kind of some routes, and I've kind of gone down there and found that silk is in China and there's this and there's this, and help others, really be the best version of themselves. So I think that's key. And if I could do that with my friends, my family, my partners, and then, just building great products, great businesses, having a great time with the people I love, creating rooms where people can be themselves and really feel inspired. And really helping others help more people. I mean, there's a multiplier effect. So I know that if I help an entrepreneur who has 1,000 or 2,000 employees and goes from 50 employees to 2,000, that's impacting, 2,000 people's lives through a conduit of the entrepreneur. So for me, I think being able to inspire would be huge.
And I think the best thing about this digital platform is 100 years from now, the next little Josh Snow might see this and you might inadvertently create the next Josh Snow from Beyond the Grave.
For sure.
Listen, man, I knew it was going to be good. You've exceeded all my expectations. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been Liam Christopher from Josh Snow, Unbreakable podcast. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. You're the man.
Dear God, man, that was good.